Monday. What a Monday so far. How about that silver? Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it because I've been talking about it now for a good distance. Record highs again this morning. We got a class here in Ponte Vedra Beach. Uh, I'll try to get Joey came over to take a picture. We only want 5 people to come to these classes, so I'm going to show you what happened this morning. Uh, Maybe you can send it to somebody or whenever,
Yeah.
tomorrow or whatever. But Joey come over and took a picture to make it. It This is a record for us. We like records, I guess, at DTI. We've been making it for years. But we got Jeff Smith here. We got Jonathan Rowe and a whole bunch of great students here to learn about Futures Plus. We've already started our path making money today, and we're going to keep that going. Uh, I think that what is interesting is the sell off that we had last night was very healthy for the market. Um, I think it probably means, other than that, there's going to be an air pocket whenever they announce the tariff deal, because that's an uncertainty, and that might be a buying opportunity for the week. So keep that in the back of your mind, no matter how bullish it looks like. We probably need to get above 70.20 to really open up today on the S&P. My pivot number was 69.80. I thought it was a perfect pivot number for the day. And again, like I said, some of the same stocks have been going higher or going higher. So what I would tell you is it's great to be here in front of you. Chuck is going to talk about key numbers, but one thing I want to talk about is something I introduced last night. It's called Orion. Orion is a way to take 40 years of experience, documented strategies, roll it in, develop an algorithm, and deliver Tuesday through Friday trades that are like the trades we've done in Weekend Side Hustle, trades that we've done in the one ticker plays. All the times you've seen me trade options, I think you're really going to learn a lot with Orion. So we'll play the tape, but Chuck first is going to get in and study, and the way I would say study these numbers and sort of break it down for you. So everybody tells you hi from the class, and I'm gonna go quiet. And Chuck, you got it. Teaching something, son. Teaching something.
All right, I'll do my best on that, Tom. Let's go ahead and start off with the risk disclaimer here. There is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. DTI Trader, all individuals affiliated with the site assume no responsibility for your trading and investment results. Essentially, what this means is you make a trade, it's yours. You own it. No matter who told you to get into it, who told you to get out of it, you're responsible for your decisions. Past performance is not indicative of future results. And I think that just about covers the risk disclaimer here. Let's go ahead and look through. In my opinion, I agree with Tom about the market, that backing off was probably a good thing. We'll have to wait and see how this market frames out. And of course, that tariff decision from the Supreme Court kind of looming over everybody's head. I think we're expecting to hear something as early as Wednesday, not necessarily on Wednesday, but that would be the earliest we're going to get that. That's when the next list of rulings comes out. We'll have the information in the morning. If it's coming out or not, we'll keep you posted on that. So, yeah, my opinion, not much different than Tom's here. Let me go ahead and tell you guys to pay attention tonight to the T-Buzz Weekly Trade Letter. You've got Jonathan and Jeff in there with Tom, so you know that tonight's going to be well researched, as it always is. Get a few insights here. Released Monday after the close, a broad market update, key news for the week, and we've got some big ones this week: CPI, PPI, and of course the possibility of those tariffs. Key earnings to watch. We're really getting rolling with earnings season this week, so definitely take a look at that. weekly Magic 5 stocks, and you know what Tom's looking at. You can keep up with that on the Telegram channel, but also go and get the big ones, the main ones he's looking at out of this T-Buzz weekly trade letter. And of course, any special opportunities, something like that ruling on tariffs is going to be one of those special opportunities. Tom will also probably be putting something about that Orion program that he talked about last night. You'll probably see that again in the T-Buzz weekly trade letter. For those of you who are a little bit more comfortable reading, you can sign up at dtitrader.com/weekly or call in at 904-706-3532. Train and Trade every Monday through Friday, definitely through the month of January at 11 a.m. Eastern. That's where we are right now. So glad that you guys were able to join us. Let's see what we've got. Now, I do want to do a special reminder here. Jeffrey Hirsch, editor-in-chief of the Stock Traders Almanac, will be our special guest for Train and Trade for this session, Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And if you've had a chance to hear Jeffrey speak about the Traders Almanac and some of the things that we're looking at there, the man has some great insight. So I highly recommend you guys come in, see Jeffrey and Tom going back and forth on what the Traders Almanac is telling us. Definitely a great way to get some insights into the market moving forward. Reminder, all trades in Train and Trade are tracked through T-Buzz Talk and Trade on the Telegram channel. You can go specifically to that channel at dtitrader.com/TNT. January FTD stocks. So let's see if Jonathan had a chance to open that up. January 12th, 9:59 Eastern, just before the completion of RB3. You can look at what the market was doing here. The December high, 69.94. That was last month's high. Last month's low, 67.71. We opened the year in the S&P at 69.02. The FTD high, FTD low, that's the first 3 days, are in place. You can see the S&P 69.91.50 to 68.66.75, which is still the low of the year. FTD midpoint, because those highs and lows are not changing from this point, was 69.29. Current price of the S&P futures, they have listed as 7,002 quarter. It's actually up to 7,005 quarter, but that is showing long. It's above the FTD high, and well, still needs a little bit of work to get above the open of the week, but definitely in a strong position. NASDAQ is painting a very similar picture. The Dow still has a little bit of work to do. Current price for the Dow is actually 49,611. It was 560 earlier, still below that FTD high of 49,766. So we'll see if the Dow can catch up to the S&P and the NASDAQ, which have been showing a lot of strength. Crude oil at 58.72, and I've got them right now at 59.3. So they kind of jumped up a little bit above that FTD high. I really prefer to see crude moving down. Still a little bit of time. We'll see what Monday looks like. Pull this from the week start. We got gold. Gold is doing very good. Gold, the FTD high at 4508.3. At the conclusion of RB3 at 4611.3. Currently 4633. It's been up to 4638.2. So a lot of strength there. And in silver, well, silver's also got a good amount of strength. 84.83 at the conclusion of RB3, 85.535 currently. So we can keep going down through the list, but you guys have seen this list before. Let me just let's see. Can I get the share? Copy that link, and let me get that posted out to you guys for the FTD algo. Jonathan will continue to update that. just go ahead and drop that down real quick, and let's go back into our slides. There we go. Trade and trade. All right. Today's topic is key numbers. You guys ready to get started on this? Do a little education from here. I can see everybody's really interested. Come on now. You guys know how to type into the room. Let me know if you're ready to get started. All right, there we go. There we go. Get the interactions coming. All right, so key numbers. Key numbers are numbers. Numbers are the tools we use to understand markets. It's basically the language of the market that we get to try and decipher to understand what's going on. Now, some numbers are more important than others. Yeah, I like that. Just noticed this comment from Michael. He was nodding his head, forgot that he had to type. Right. So, yeah, it's fun sitting back and listening. I've been in the kitchen sometimes saying, "Go ahead," and then I realize, "Oh wait, my mic's over there." Yeah. So when we look at numbers, we're trying to understand what the market is telling us. Everything from the FTD algo to are we above or below the open? How is the market moving? All those expressions are shown in numbers. Now, there are a few numbers that we really want to focus in on. Pattern numbers, I think, are some of the most important things to learn. And there's a list that Tom and Jonathan have of all the numbers that they think you should pay attention to. This is not the list of all the numbers. This is basically an understanding of where that list comes from, or where parts of that list comes from. So instead of learning every number, we limit our understanding on two-digit numbers. That's the first thing. So 00 through 99. And you guys have all heard it before. I'll be talking about markets. Tom will be talking about markets. And if we try and list off the full number, occasionally we'll get that century number wrong. So instead of talking about 7,008.5, we might tell you, well, it's 6908. Forget about that first part. The 08 is what we're really focused on. 08 is important to me because it's above 07, which happens to be the open of the week. Now, we do want to be aware of which century we're moving in, but our focus has always been on those two-digit numbers. So focal points within those, wholes and halves, 00 and 50. Kind of simple. It's not that complicated of a thing, and quite frankly, even strategies that don't focus on this broad of understanding, they do tell you that the 00 and the 50 are important numbers. So even if you aren't focused on the numbers, if you're focused more on statistical references and calculations, we still go back and say 00 and 50 are big numbers wherever you're looking. Next to that comes the quarters, the 25, 75. These are big numbers as well. And then if we continue with the fractions going down, you go from halves to quarters to eighths next. And I went ahead and listed off all the eighths here because I think they are important numbers. 12 and a half, which we might be seeing pretty soon in the S&P. They just made it up to 1075. 12 and a half might be coming next. 25 is a big number. It's, of course, a quarter, but also 3750. 50 is a big number. It's a quarter, it's a half, and it's an eighth. Fits all those criteria. 6250, 75, 8750, and then back to the 00 or 100, 200, 300. But it's the 00 that we're most interested in. Now, the more zeros on a number, the more important it is. So the Dow, for instance, in the not too distant future, could be staring at 50,000, and that's going to be a lot of zeros. So we want to keep an eye on that, see how the market operates around there. The NASDAQ is coming up to 26,000. Not quite as many zeros, but still a big, important level. So, well, we got 7,000 for the S&P. That's a bunch of zeros as well. So these pattern numbers, if you don't know anything else about markets and numbers and how they work, just understand this part. So 0 through 99, look at the wholes, the halves, the quarters. And when it gets a little bit more tight, go down to the eighths. And maybe even further, maybe even look at the 16ths. Now, in addition to the pattern numbers, we also have the actual information that's provided us by the market, right? So historical numbers in any given market, you're going to look at the open, high, and low of different time frames. So we all know what the open of the year is, right? In the S&P futures, of course, it's 6902. The open of the quarter, anybody know what the open of the quarter is in the S&P futures? I'll give you a hint. You should. We're in January. So if the open of the year is 6902, what's the open of the quarter? Yeah, Dave got it. It's just the same number, right? So this is pretty easy at this point. The open of the year and the open of the quarter are the same. How about the open of the month? Anybody know the open of the month? Yeah, it's sticking with that 6902. So we're pretty clear on that front. Now, when we go to the open of the week, we do have a number that is different. The open of the week for the S&P futures. It's important to know, by the way, time in this regard. So when we're looking at futures markets, our opens are occurring at 6 p.m. Eastern on the previous day. So we open the week Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern for Monday's market, and that is the 7,007. And of course, since it's Monday, the open of the week and the open of the day are the same. Now, the high of the year, quarter, month, week, and day, that can still shift around a little bit here because we do have a little bit of divergence. Our current high of the year was set last week, 7,017.50 for the S&P. And while I focus all my attention on the S&P, if you're trading a stock that you're interested in, make sure that you know this information. Take this sheet out of these slides, print off a whole bunch of copies, and each morning go through and write each of those numbers, even if you have to repeat the open of the year, quarter, month, all being the same number. Repeat that because the market is telling you it's important. So we want to stress that 6902 is an extremely important number, and it becomes important from the moment it's set, because again, open of the year, quarter, and month by default, but still 6902, a big number worth paying attention to. And that 02 level, see it even when we're in the 7,000 area. So once again, make sure that you got this, and get a link to the slides. Let me go ahead, and I can't actually get to the link right now because I'm projecting, but let me see if I can roll back in time and find that for you. I know that Jonathan posted it up. There we go. All right, so let's all right. I'm trying to copy and repaste. Well, okay. Do it this way. That should work. There we go. So make sure you have these slides and just print a couple copies of this and go out and keep that information. Now, let's talk about numbers of greater significance because we have a few that we get to pay attention to. News-based numbers, we already had non-farm payroll. And I'm going to switch over to my roadmap in just a second here because I want to have that number ready for you. But I'm going to show you how to go and grab it. This week, we also have CPI, PPI. Later this month, we'll have GDP, PCE, and another FOMC number. We've got a current FOMC number that we can pay attention to, but we'll have another one coming up here before the end of the month. Now, let me go through here and let's see, let's go to charts. Got some duplication in here, but let me just spread this E-mini S&P chart out a little bit. Go to the intraday. And as most of you know, we had non-farm payroll on Friday. So we go back and this roadmap's on Central Time because that's where I live. But that non-farm payroll pivotal number was 69.75. So let's go back into our slides real quick. Well, let me edit. How do I get out of this? Okay. Here we go. Back into our slides. Non-farm payroll 69.75 on January 9. CPI, PPI, GDP, these numbers are yet to come. The FOMC number, the most recent one we've got, and this was from December, was 68.46. Put that December in parentheses. That's not the contract. That just happens to be when it was set. We'll get another one coming up in January. All right. So you guys see how that works? Kind of keeping track of the numbers, and we want to see in what direction is the market moving. So between that FOMC number in December and the NFP number on Friday, what direction has the market been moving? Been heading up, right? And so the open of the week at 7,007, that's another number to compare. We'll compare it to these news-based numbers. Is the open of the week higher or lower than the NFP number on January 9th? Yeah, it's higher. It's above the NFP number. And then where we're currently trading, which is 7,006 quarter, is that higher or lower than the open of the week? That's actually is about the same. The open of the week, 7,007. Guys, we're currently trading at 7,550. Last I counted, 5 was below 7. Fell into a trap there, didn't you? You were expecting me to continue to show you that everything was moving higher. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. We have to look at the market that we've got. Actually, it just went up to 7 quarters, 650. I tell you what, it's right at the number. So as we're starting the week, very early in the week, still hanging around the open of the week, but the market was moving up to this point. Now, or actually, hang on, time-based numbers. I want to go into that. So your reference bars, Genesis bar, which is going to start in just a few minutes. We use these reference bars intraday throughout the day, and we're looking at the open of the reference bar and more importantly, the high and the low of the reference bar to see if the current market price is trading beyond the reference bar, whether it be upward or downward. Now, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to bother typing it in because it's going to change in a few minutes, but the high of RB3 was 7,002.5. And I look at where the market's trading right now at 7,575. we're above the high of RB3. So we continually make these adjustments, make these understandings to let us know where the market is moving. Now, tomorrow I'm going to break this down a little bit more and get into bar patterns, which are relying on the same information. We're just going to cluster that a little bit tighter. Now, that's our way of understanding the market and finding out what the market is telling us. I've got these pattern numbers where I can project out things that I haven't seen yet. For instance, 70-17-50 is the high. If the market runs up, Tom mentioned 70-20. I'm going to tell you watch 70-25. Do I have any evidence for that? Well, only the importance of 25. Every other number, whether it was 69-25, 68-25, 67-25, which, by the way, wasn't that the open of the fourth quarter? Yes, 67-25. So we're going to be aware of those pattern numbers because they will come back to us when we get into the next century, or if we go down a century. We'll see how that plays out. We're going to be aware of the historical numbers, which often sit on pattern numbers, but are a more refined view. We're going to be aware of numbers of greater significance, such as the NFP on January 9th, the FOMC number from last month, and coming up this week, CPI and PPI numbers. Make sure you have a pencil and paper handy to write those numbers down. These numbers of greater significance, I do want to stress this. This is not what did the market look like at that time. This is where was the market trading at the time of the news release. So we can go back and look at that historically as we did to grab that 69.75 number. Now, we've got the Orion trade alerts, which I know Tom is a big fan of. And we're going to replay the Orion video from last night. Lifetime VIP membership for Orion, $19.95. You can sign up at dtitrader.com/Orion. And actually, let me get to the point where I can edit in here because I want to grab this information. I'm going to leave it as it is, but I do want to make sure that it makes it into the chat room. And let's see, to get that into the chat, I think I have to do the https://www.dtitrader.com/Orion. There we go. Fix that up a little bit for you guys so you can click the link directly from the chat to join in. And before we go too much further, first of all, today's offer limited to starting out as 30. We're down to 18 slots left. Hope you're able to take the time to join us. And a reminder that today's recordings will be found via the live tab at dtitrader.com/YouTube. Are slides available for today's presentations? Yes, they are. Grab that link for you. Post it into the chat. And before I go too far, any questions about today's topic, key numbers? And one of the things I always like to say that the numbers are the language of the market. The market expresses itself through numbers. We trade it through numbers. And everything comes down to numbers when we're talking about markets. And we go through here and look. I want to see how these markets are progressing. And I think a lot of people are comfortable reading bar charts because you can visually see that's moving higher. That's in between. the open of the Genesis bar right now, 7,006.5, been up to 7,008, 7,450. But seeing that we're inside that previous bar is one thing. Understanding those levels so I can get a little bit more refined about approaching the market. 7,010.75 and 7,000 and a quarter. That's kind of the big news. That's what I want to focus on. What learning resources do we provide? You can go to the white pages. I think it's, I want to say dtitrader.com/WP. Let's see if I can verify that for you. It sent me down to the search bar. Hang on one second. Ah, there we go. All right, so it's https:// There we go. Great little source to get information on just about anything you can think of. So I would say start there, but also go to the YouTube channel and find information on that. If there's something particular, Peter, that you're looking to learn, tell us in these train and trade programs, because we should have a little bit of time to talk to you about it. Now, in terms of what the numbers are telling me right now, we talked about this. You have this upward progression from December's FOMC number to the open of the year to the non-farm payroll number, which came out on Friday, the open of the week. So if I got to figure out what direction is the market moving, I have a pretty good idea of it. We're looking at the reference bars to see where the intraday examples are. And we're going to put all of that together, all that understanding together into programs like the Orion Trade Alerts. And if you give me just 1 minute, I will get that presentation from Sunday night playing for you guys so you can follow along with what we've got. Let me just go and grab that real quick. I'll bring this over into your main screen here. And let's see what Tom has to say about the Orion alerts.
Is everybody focused before I get started? You do not want to miss what I say about Orion. All right, let's do it. Scoring 20 to 25% gains from the stock market would grow your account pretty good, wouldn't it? Especially if you had 4 opportunities every week. It's where I pay less than $1 to get in with trades with the potential to deliver these type of gains fast as anything that we see. Not day trading now, but overnight trading. That ought to interest you by reworking the money over and over again throughout the week when it sets up. Now, past performance is not indicative of future results. We did this to give you an edge where you will be able to follow along and have the technical tools a lot of people out there have that you don't have because we had the programming power to do it. Now, in any trade approach. There will be losers. You got to be aware of that. You got to use level bet. Does everybody know what I mean when I say use level bets? Basically, what I'm saying is keep every trade equal dollars. That's the secret. Every trade equal dollars. Everybody give me a yes if you understand that. So if you buy 10 contracts at $1, that's $1,000. So every trade should be $1,000. That's what I'm saying. For those that are new, got a lot of new people here. I'm Tom Busby. And what you're about to hear, you won't hear from anybody else because this is something that's reaching for the stars. I started markets way back in the 1970s. Since then, I've been featured everywhere. I paid my prices. I paid my dues. And if you ever listen to me, I think you get it figured out pretty quick that real trading is not easy. It takes discipline and it takes a process. 3 of my books, Winning a Day Trading Game in 11 different languages, The Markets Never Sleep, published years ago when I foresaw that one day we'll be trading stocks 24 hours. And of course, that attitude you got to have, trade to win. Now, I had a Globex terminal. That was the forerunner to what you're doing today, electronic trading. I was trading electronically when people didn't know you could do it through the exchange. I was one of the very few people that had this outside of Chicago. It was quite a machine. One of only 50 in the entire world at the time. I started a school called the Day Trading Institute back in 1996, later changed the name to Diversified Trading Institute. We're known as DTI all over the world. I built that school, that building, because I wanted traders to have a place to come and learn and educate themselves. With the technology improving now, I still do small classes here in Ponte Vedra, Florida, 5 to 8 people. This class happens to have 9, Adam, and one large meetup in the summer that happens at TPC where they have the players tournament. And that is Bill in the picture. But it never stopped for me from always trying to find an edge in the market. That's what traders do. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. An easy way to deliver to you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, these type trades. Using technology to do it. Taking my strategy. But I mean it sincerely. Now, I don't mean it's better or any more accurate. What I mean is all the work I do to deliver has been programmed as a strategy to come direct to you. Consistently, Tuesday through Friday. These 20, 25% gains, you made a lot of those trades with me over time. Now I've got it programmed. I think you're going to love it. Most traders will never think about this particular segment I'm in. They deliver the unique potential to take $1 for an option and turn it into a 20, 25% gain. Nothing odd or lucky about going there. I've proven it to you for years. You can do it. Now it's going to be programmed. It's going to be a strategy. We call it Orion. The phenomenon is real. It's buried in that market. A lot of people don't know about. I understand it. I've shared it with you in the past, and I think you're going to love it. What's so beautiful about this? You know the time to look, how the setup looks, and the trade to take. A lot of the hard part, and the option to buy. You just how to leverage it and use it, using level bets, and how options actually work, because most traders get it wrong. And An option price is basically the market's answer to one question. What are the chances it ends up worth something? For example, if SPY is trading at 690, a 650 call expiring next month is going to be expensive. That's what it looks like, because the market says there's a high chance it will end up valuable. That's the way options work. A 750 call, very cheap, are telling you it probably won't be worth anything by expiration date. That's simple enough to understand the two extremes. But here's where it gets interesting. Here's where experience comes to play. You look at these out of the money options and think lottery ticket, not lottery tickets when I traded. Imagine you could buy that cheap option and likely expire at zero, but every once in a blue moon they could hit it big. Or either lighting a few bucks on fire or a massive win. In fact, I've heard traders refer to these options as lottery tickets. That's not what makes these options special. What makes them incredibly unique is how sensitive their price is to small changes. Let me show you exactly what I mean. The football game that explains everything. Imagine Georgia is playing Marshall. You know who Marshall is, you know who Georgia is. Georgia is one of the best programs in the country. And that's not just me being biased. Marshall's not. The odds makers give Georgia a 98% chance to win. Now, if Georgia scores a touchdown on the opening drive, what happens to the odds? They tick from 98 to 99. It got higher, a 1% improvement. If you bet on Georgia, your position barely moved. But what if Marshall scores that opening touchdown instead? Nobody said that. Now somebody thinks Marshall's going to win, but the odds shift from 2% to 4%. That's a 100% movement. You see the percentage in using the numbers this way, it really explains it well. 100% increase in value from the exact same action on the same field. Marshall odds are far more sensitive to what happens along the way. Option market works exact same way. Take a look at the SPY from Friday. Safe income trade sitting comfortably below. Current price is already valued at 80 cents on the dollar. Even in the best case scenario, you're looking at about a 20% upside. But to trade our system is priced at 33 cents on the dollar with over a 200% of theoretical room to move. Now here's the key. Same price move that pushes the safe trade from 80 to 82 can push our trade from 33 cents to 50. Same movement. Now think about what that means. $1,000 in the safe trade, you're up 25 bucks. In our trade, you're up 515 on the same movement. The key is knowing when to place the trade and how to place it. That's a 20x difference in return on the same underlying asset in the same time frame on the same move. Because the pricing sensitivity of those options, and that's what we've cracked. We're not holding these positions hoping for a home run. We know they'll probably expire worthless at the end of the expiration, but we don't care about that, do we? We're not marrying these options, we're dating these options. We care about their potential to gain outside value along the way. We only care about capturing that 25% income. Stock doesn't need to do anything dramatic, just needs to move enough to shift the unlikely to the slightly less unlikely. That small shift in story is where the quick gains live. Over the past few months, we've been building a system to capture these exact opportunities, to capture that 20 to 25% sweet spot in the shortest amount of time possible. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Everybody that I show this to says, Orion, I love the name. Give me a yes if you love the name of Orion. You're going to love it better when it starts paying you Tuesday through Friday, when it pays. Here's how it works. Every day it scans the markets using DTI method for breakout opportunities in either direction. Automatically alerts us throughout the day, let us know if the trade is imminent. When an official breakout is triggered, the algorithm scans the entire option market, searching for the secondary options they're most sensitive to price change we can take advantage of. When we find the exact option, we generate that option setup, and we get our returns within 72 hours. Anybody ever heard me use the word 72 hours? We build it in. It fires those details and automatic update straight to the private Orion Telegram channel. It gives you the ticker, exact options, price, target, exit instructions. One of the favorite things about the way our Orion works, if the trade hadn't hit our target within 72 hours, we move on and look at the next one. We keep it simple. Simple is good. Take a look at December 26th. Well, most of us still recover from Christmas. Orion was scanning the market for these opportunities. It printed this out. It told us the exact options to buy. It told us where to set our sell at. And it told us about the time stock within 70 hours close the position. Not hard to follow, is it, with those contingencies? That was a short opportunity on the QQQ. It is neutral to which way the market goes. It sets up where the best opportunities there and odds favor, up or down. Notice the trade structure we're looking for QQQ go below 618 by January 16th. Now look at the current chart in QQQ. It's not looking so good for QQQ below 618 that week. But remember, we don't actually care about that one because we're already out of it at our profit. So when the QQQ dropped and smashed our target the next day, we're gone. In truth, I never believed the market would below 618 in January when we did the trade. But as you know, I was very bullish on January 2026. But that's not the point. The market said go short. We took it. What made this trade work so powerful is how we grabbed an easy 25% gain, even though the market was weeks away from knowing the result of the final trade. Does everyone see the difference here, what we're doing? We're letting the market determine, regardless of what we think, the most appropriate direction to take, the time to take it, the profit that we're going to take, and where we're wrong when we get out 72 hours later. This is the key to Orion right here. This is not a lottery trade, it's a high odds trade setting up that we're going to take advantage of. Take advantage of these small changes in the odds along the way to produce these outside gains. The Orion algo combines the two powerful forces of what might be the best trade I ever come up with. You use the DTI method to find it, the exact moment to get in, the exact option to take, the exact direction to take, and now it's in play. And of course, when the price is moving, it will change the value of the options. Second, it identifies the exact options most sensitive to that price shift, so that when the price does move, we get the biggest payout possible. Here's a signal on January 6th. Look at the signal. Signal was long, January 6th. Now remember this trade, you should remember this one, we made it. As you see, Orion found options looking for QQQ to hit 639 by January the 30th. Notice the price of QQ never got near that 639, nowhere near January 30th, not even January 30th right now. It's remarkable how consistent this is. Generated a 25% return in a few hours thanks to our special option Orion identified to create an outside gain. You see in what I think might be the best trade setup that we've come up with in all these years, because I'm not having to do the work because the work's already inside the algo. I love it. And Orion on December 19th, Medallion members have had access and they're screaming about how good it was. Mary Ann was with me Thursday and Friday one-on-one. Said, hey, we got an Orion signal. I'm over there trading. And I said, good. My goal is to trade this through Q1, prove its most dynamic income opportunity entire market for 2026. We'll open it up to the public after that, April or May. But today we're opening up 30 pre-release spots for anyone who wants to test alongside Jonathan and me. When we open this up to the public, I will plan to price it at $19.95 per year. It's going to be a steal for folks who understand the power of Orion. But if you're one of the first 30 in the door, takes it, you'll be an Orion founding member. It gives you special benefits, like the masterclass I'm going to do Friday, which means you can pay $19.95 to access to Orion Algo and real-time alerts and never pay again. The lifetime access to Orion is just $19.95 if you want to go on and lock it down. If you decide to charge more than $19.95 per year, you'll be locked in at that price. Let's drop the link. Drop the link, dtitrader.com/Orion. Call our team at 904-706-3532. On top of that, you will get lifetime VIP membership for $19.95. Sign up for Orion Trade Alerts right now. Take one of the spots. You won't pay more. You're locked in. We had our first guy through the door. Glenn, thank you so much. 29 left. Now I have a masterclass set up for Friday because we're going to really milk this sucker. So be part of it. We'll walk you through the trade step by step, teach you how to make Orion one of the #1 trading tools. Let me answer some questions I'm sure you have about Orion. How does Orion find these specific opportunities? First, Orion dynamically updates the reference levels we have had each day and monitors price action for a breakout or breakdown. Then it uses state-of-the-art options data feed, one that costs about $100,000 per year, to dig through the options chain and find a specific trade that's most sensitive to the upside potential to the breakout. That's what you don't have, you will have in Orion. It recognizes the trade in detailed alerts, sends it in real time to our private Orion Telegram channel. Does Orion trade both directions? Give me a yes. It does. It's based on our method. When the market goes up, goes down during that time frame, it trades. Finds the exact option to trade and take advantage. When do I lose? Do I lose 100%? Always, there's that rare possibility, but odds are, since we're getting out in 72 hours, no. That's the big benefits of Orion. The clock ticks from the time you enter the trade 72 hours later. Exit trade with a small gain or small loss if it doesn't hit the target. Even better, because these secondary options are already priced in low probability, probably don't lose value as quickly as something closer in. How do I know when to get out? Every Orion trade gives you the exact target to set on the trade. You know exactly where to take your profit. The lifetime membership, $19.95, only 30 of it. Take it. You won't pay $4,000, you won't pay $5,000. You'll be locked in at this price, VIP. Believe, because it does work, and you will see it work in real time, along with me and Jonathan would do it. 29 left. Glenn was first. Just tell me if you're coming in where I can count it down. We'll pull down the slide. Thank you very much. Any questions, ask them. It's going to be a tremendous week. I hope you're part of it. Cindy then, 28 left. James is in, 27 left. Tuesday through Friday, that'd be 4 trades maximum a week, William. You don't have to take it all, but you can. Now, don't join Dave if that's the issue. 26. Got to take a chance sometimes. You know how good this stuff is. You're going to love it at this price. All right, we're down to 24. Since I'm not going to miss a founding special yet, hadn't done it all these years. Way to go, Glenn. Steve, I can tell you it's going to be somewhere around 4 out of 5, okay? 4 out of 5. Every trade. The difference is 23, Allen's in. If you want to talk to Kelly or Jeffrey, put your name, phone number in there. Adam will reserve one of the spots for you. Allen was smart by doing it. He got him a spot doing it. Around 12 o'clock, iPads in. I think we're down to about 19 left. No, William, there's not.
Hey, T-Buzz, real quick. The window for the alerts are from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah, right. Tuesday through Friday, 12 to 3. I said after 12. I didn't give them the ending thing. Thanks for clarifying that. Oh, Ryan. We're reaching for the stars here. All right, Dave, put your email in there. They'll reserve a spot for you. You have to put your email and phone number if you do it. You want to talk to Kelly or Jeffrey. Sylvan. All right, we're down to 16 spots right now. Thank you. No problem, Bob. Put your name and email and we'll reserve a spot for you. Got to have your name and email, though. We're not messing around with this. It's too valuable. Don't you love that name? Orion. This might be the best name we've come up with in years, Adam. Orion. Just rolls off your tongue. Any other questions? That's right, Skip. That's where it came from. Know your stars. Debits. They're debits. You can, William, but we got it. You got to remember, we got people a lot of different levels of experience. Would you say? I got people starting out 2 or 3 years. I got people out to 20 years. Everybody can alter it to fit their desires. We take the money and run because that's what we do, because we know it's going to generate another one. But some of these trades might be 60 or 70. You don't know. I want you to think about something. Just go back in our history. Told you last year crude oil was going to drop 20%. I told you last year that gold was going to make new highs. It made a new high. I told you in December silver was a straight out buy. Don't look back. All these things are based not on what I think, but what the numbers tell me. This is what Orion's about. Taking the numbers, taking what you think out of the way and focus on what the market tells you to do. That's what I love about it. No running and hiding, baby. When that thing prints a trade, you got to take it. Right. That's right. What I'm excited about is the following. You get in that Orion channel and you're going to start working. It's going to make you say, wow, my account's growing. That's why I got involved in trade, right? Anyway, we're just trying to use the technology and we're doing a good job of it. I believe in technology, I believe in process, and I believe in doing our work. We've done it. Mary Alice, as long as you'll hold any of these options, it's 72 hours. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up, Adam. You want to replay it for everybody?
Yep, I can do that. Just give me about 4 minutes to stop this and get everything ready to replay. If you want to.
We're going to replay it. We're going to give you another chance to hear all the stuff about it, okay? The only thing, you scratch out 30 and make it 15 when you start the second recording.